how dare you?
Yeah.
And feminists, fellow true feminists, not sexist, cowardice, whatever. Real feminists start speaking up, because this is absolute and utter bullcrap.
One Patriot back again with another video. I'm Burning Spear Patriot, and I'm joined by the lovely Libby Lioux. Thank you guys for joining us again.
Welcome.
Yes, so something happened today. YouTube was unhappy with one of my videos, which in turn made me very unhappy because they removed it. Now, there was a video I had on my Burning Spear Patriot channel. This channel that I have on my own, I put a video up, and it was about drag queen and the transgender agenda being pushed on our kids, on our youth. And I was just talking about how they're targeting our kids and they're pushing this agenda on our youth. And I got my video taken down, and I got a point against my channel, or a strike against my channel, because I was telling the truth. And I think this is the last straw with me when it comes to YouTube. I'm not going to be doing any more channels on that Burning Spear Patriot channel. I'm officially done. I'm going to be moving to different outlets, different platforms. BitChute. I'm going to try Rumble again, even though their channel is not as user-friendly. But I'm going to give them another try. I heard some decent things about Odyssey. But as far as YouTube goes, I'm done as far as Burning Spear Patriot goes.
Yeah, and I think we'll continue posting One Patriot stuff on YouTube, but in that same vein, we're going to start uploading our content to, BitChute, Rumble, Alt Tech, because apparently what we're about to say might be offensive, might be inciting.
Yeah, we might get a strike against
violence.
this channel. We might get a strike against this channel. And I didn't know, if you have 1,000 subscribers, I didn't even know that you can monetize your channel. I didn't monetize my channel, but I didn't know you can do it.
Yeah.
But, I didn't get that many views anyway, so.
I'm sure they were suppressing content.
Oh, I'm sure too. And I actually made another video, talking about this. They're probably suppressing and shadow banning my YouTube channel, because I used to get thousands of views. I used to get at least 1,000 views every video. And then all of a sudden, when election time came, I started putting out content, and they just
shut it down.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
I was making pro-Trump videos, and I was making pro-conservative videos, and I was making anti-Biden videos, and they just people were putting in the comments, "Hey, I'm not getting any notifications on your video." People were messaging me in the comments and just saying "Oh, they're shadow banning you."
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yep. It is crazy.
Yeah.
It's a rabbit hole that we could definitely dive down, but it's honestly, I feel like it's suppression.
It is. And the person that is the conservative in me, that is, a true conservative, a guy that believes that is a capitalist, and a guy that is a person that believes in the free markets, and the person that believes in privately owned, companies to run their companies however they want. That becomes a problem when you are using that right or privilege to be biased.
Yep.
That's what I have an issue with. And that in itself is dangerous, because you are swaying the way things are ran in the country.
Yep.
Because when you use that and you target that towards politics, which affects everybody's lives, you're essentially picking and choosing the leaders of our country based on a lot of fake news, a lot of censorship, a lot of just suppressing everybody's speech.
Yep.
If this video gets taken down, I don't care. I'm sorry.
I don't either, because we're going to talk about it because it deserves to be talked about.
Yeah.
That video, it made me furious. It made me furious as a feminist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am a self-identified feminist, and the anger that I felt in that video was just something's got to stop. Feminists need to start speaking up.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the gist. That was the main thing, like my main just issue with that entire video. With, how are you going to be a feminist when they are literally trying to erase women from society?
No.
And you're not doing anything to stop that or resist that or, push back against that.
Why? Sorry. I'm just amped up.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead because you are self-proclaimed feminist, and you believe their narrative that they're pushing, you're totally against. And yeah, I would like you to talk about that, and like kind of get that out to the people.
Yeah. So first, if you haven't watched the video yet, pause this. We'll put a link down below. I was going to put it and we were going to watch it together, but I don't want to get flagged for copyright infringement or something like that.
They'll figure out a way to take the video down. Yeah.
Pause it. Watch the link down below. Cool. Now we can go. Okay. So the biggest issue I have with this, I have no qualms with the LGBT community, generally speaking, as far as it goes with like lifestyle, right? You want to be gay, or I shouldn't say, they're going to flag me for that. You're gay, live your life. I'm not going to hate on you for it, right? Like, support you, you do you. Cool. Where I take a lot of issue with this video in particular is the fact that it is a drag queen being put in front of children as a representative of the LGBTQ plus community, right? Like, let's go back a little bit, even in the history of where does drag come from? It dates back to like the 1500s, more recently than that, like Shakespeare, where this entire concept is rooted in sexism. If you want to get real feminist about it, it was because women weren't allowed to perform in theater. And that's where drag stemmed from, is men dressing up as women. From there, it stemmed to Prohibition era where in all these underground clubs, men were dressing in drag. And it's like...
Wow, that's interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah. And then it, continued to progress in... where we saw it most notoriously in the Stonewall riots.
Right.
So it stemmed in sexism.
So essentially, this was blackface before blackface.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking about Shakespearean times, this is what, 1500s, 1600s? I don't really know when Shakespeare was popping, but I know that blackface didn't become a thing until like the late 1800s. Well, it didn't become a popular thing until like the late 1800s and the early 1900s, like real popular, into like where people started seeing it like on TV and like movies and stuff. Like even like the movie called Birth of a Nation. That is the movie where they have like the antagonist is a a white man in blackface, who was this guy, I guess, and the Klan was the Klan members were the heroes, you know. But yes, this is well before actual blackface. So I always equate drag queens with blackface because there is no difference.
Honestly, like you look at it and it's taking like the same concept, right? Like women exaggerating these traits of women and taking them over the top.
Yeah, making it extreme and making a mockery.
Yeah. Making a mockery, and it's like, you know, now they're saying like, oh no, it's celebrate. It's not.
Okay, let's say that it is we were talking about this earlier. At a bare minimum, it's a cultural appropriation. It's appropriation at a bare minimum.
Well,
because even though like, you know, I look at, you know, when people see a white woman with like braids and she might not mean anything about it. She might be celebrating it about it. She might be celebrating the, you know, the braids and like appreciating them. But people are still going to say that she's appropriating it, even though I don't think that it is. But I would say, like, I don't know. That might not be her motives, but the perception is she is appropriating.
Right. And I think that's nonsense.
I think it's nonsense too, but like, you know, my point is that it can be looked at, you know, or it can be perceived that way. And the drag queen community, they are actually like making this like a thing, like an acceptable thing when it shouldn't be. There is no circumstances where you can say that blackface, I mean, in our society, even though I think, you know, it's not, I personally don't think it's like, if I see a white actor that has blackface, I don't really care. Or he puts on black meat. I don't really care.
I'm not that offended.
I'm not offended by
transgender people. But if we want to talk about like the roots of things, right? Like stemming back, you know, for so offended. Well, then why aren't feminists pissed off about transgender representing the LGBT community?
Exactly.
It's misogyny. It's all these things that you're claiming to be outraged about encapsulated in this, you know, sexualized package of, you know, be you, let your freak flag fly. And it's like, no, if you want to talk about it, that is a core tenet of sexism right
exactly.
there.
I mean, I you know, that was the point of my video, you know. If you're going to run around here talking about how you're such a freaking feminist and you're, you know, for women's rights and you want equality, but then you're going to let a man come and make a mockery out of you and it's just acceptable to you? Like, are you just going to like just accept that and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to sit on my hands, or, you know, just turn a blind eye and just let these people make a mockery out of you?
Yeah. Personally, I don't get that offended. I've been to drag shows, like, but stemming from that, and then I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's like, but what does upset me is the fact that, so beyond the sexist origins of it, where women were oppressed and they weren't allowed to engage in theater, even moving beyond that, its culture is rooted in the bar scene and the nightlife, in a sexualized culture. It's not like, hey, there's gay people on TV. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with associating the drag queen community and putting that as the icon on Nickelodeon for kids to idolize.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No.
Yeah, exactly. Why couldn't they just have like Doogie Howser on there, like to represent gay people? I don't know his name. I don't know his real name, but
why don't we have like Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek? He's
they always have to have these flamboyant, like over the top, like just effeminate, crazy, like over exaggerated gay people.
And I know. Sorry, go ahead.
That's what makes me mad. Why can't you still show a upstanding, well-to-do, normal gay person for kids.
Right.
Like, for the adults, okay, fine. Yeah. Have the drag queens, have the, whatever. I'm personally not going to watch it because I just don't watch that foolishness. But when you're directing that towards kids, that's when I step in. That's when I have a problem with it. You can't have Doogie Howser on freaking Nickelodeon. Why not? Why can't you have him? He's a great representative, I feel like, of the LGBT. Like, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but he's, a clean-cut guy. He's not going to do it. Like, he's not he might live a certain lifestyle that I don't live that lifestyle, but at least he's a clean-cut guy. He's an upstanding guy. He's not a freaking...
He's someone to aspire
He's not a clown.
to.
He's not a clown.
Yeah.
These people running around here are clowns.
That's the other thing. Everybody's like, oh, well, it's, entertainment. It's an art form. And it's like, okay, well, you have to pick one. Is it, this is them being true to themselves, or is it an art form? Because at the same time, you can't be like, it's not being true to who you are. It's a whole cluster of you're not making any sense.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think it's an agenda.
Yeah.
To shape the youth, the children's mind into thinking that this is like something normal. Like they're trying to normalize this stuff, man. This stuff is not normal, man.
And the thing is it's like it's normalizing giving into like your every impulse and whim. And again, I'm not advocating that we should like put gay people back in the closet. They can overcome this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is like it is normal to question these things, but to be like just be you and like normalize transgender, for example, and it's like, no, why are we normalizing? It's I know people are getting mad at this, but it's a mental disorder, right? Like you're having body dysmorphia. You don't connect with who you are as your biological birthing people. Sorry, another thought. We'll get into that too, but why are we just like, it's cool, let's celebrate these mental illnesses? Why aren't we encouraging mental health? Like if you are truly transgender, okay, cool, then we can move past it. You've gone through. But if a lot of the time there's other underlying issues and it's just a band-aid.
Our children are literally under attack.
Yes.
Our children are under attack. They are trying to teach our children how to masturbate. They are teaching our children they're making mandatory reading, like sexual erotic books from mandatory reading.
And we're canceling Dr. Seuss.
Yeah,
we're canceling all the classics. Yeah. Like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That's it. It's like we're steering it towards this like, sex positive culture for children. I don't want my children to be exposed to any kind of sex culture, and it's not that I don't want them to be left in the dark, or it's not conversations that I'm going to have with them, but that's my place as a parent to have those conversations, especially looking at Christian parents, conservative parents. They have the right to have those conversations with their children and be like, have the conversation about being gay. They may not feel that it's okay to be gay. I'd hope that they would carry out those conversations with kindness and tenderness, but that is their right as a parent. And so trying to force it in these schools and in culture across the board.
Scout. Oh, that's Scout.
Scout. Oof. Yeah. It's just wild. And I don't know why we're just sitting back and being like, okay, this is fine. This is normal, because it's damaging our youth.
It is. And we're going to pay dearly for this, because parents are just, they're just too complacent.
Yeah.
Too complacent. And they let the culture just dive into degeneracy, dive into just man, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for the kids that are coming up today because they're gonna be exposed to a lot of just crap, BS.
It is a lot of crap. And I want to make another point on this too, because I know when somebody's going to say, oh, well, there's all the heteronormative video, like princess movies that, you know, are all about love, and why are we okay with that, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Because
that's the natural way of things.
That is.
And I mean, if that offends somebody, I mean, that's the natural way of things. Look,
but even aside from that, like we've already shifted away from that, right? Mm-hmm. And we're not having, look at a lot of the Disney movies that have come out. They're not about these romances and loves. It's like about strong, independent women. So we've already started shifting away from that. And if there's a gay couple, then whatever. But like, why do we have to force feed it into everything?
Do you remember the Proud Family?
Sounds familiar, but...
Okay, the Proud Family was a show that I think that was on Disney. It was a black family. Mm-hmm. Classic nuclear family. Man, woman, and I think 2 kids. And I think there was a grandma in there too that they had living with them. They are remaking Proud Family, and they're taking away the mother. And they're putting 2 dads in there, and they're gonna be gay couples, and they're gonna be raising a family. My thing is that this is tokenism right here.
Yeah.
Because why don't you just create another? Why do you got to take a show that was original and just ruin it and put in a homosexual couple? Why don't you just create a new show? Number one, that's lazy. Right? Because you know if there's a show that has 2 homosexual parents, you probably don't think that's going to be well received by middle America. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to piggyback off a show that was classic and near and dear to a lot of people's...
Tap into the nostalgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tap into the nostalgia because you're lazy. They do this a lot in the comics too, with the race swapping and the gender swapping.
Which doesn't make sense. Why can't we let these people, these characters, be who they are?
Yeah,
develop
this
new
is
characters. It's lazy.
Yeah,
it's lazy.
It's super lazy. You got freaking black Spider-Man, black Superman, and it's garbage. I will never support that. Like I will never ever support a black Bruce Wayne. I will never support a black Clark Kent. I will never support a black Peter Parker. That is never, I will never pay my money to see any of that. Take original black characters and build off of them. It can be done. It was done with Black Panther. It can be done. Yeah. It was done with a lot of these characters like Blade. Come on, man. Stop taking these classic white superheroes and replacing them with a minority character. It makes no sense. Now they're making all of these transgender Captain Americas and all kinds of weird... oh, man. I don't understand it. Leave Captain America alone. All right? I know I digress, but...
it's an important conversation to have.
It's like really... It's really pissing me off, man. It's the way they're trying to push this agenda. This whole thing... Man, I can go on and on about this. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I do want to touch back a bit on the just in general. Well, actually, I have a couple thoughts. Wrapping up like the Nickelodeon thought and content. The other thing that really upset me about it is the fist that's in that video, right?
Oh,
Why is that in there?
They're trying to push their Marxism and their communism.
That is one of the most outrageous pieces of it. It's like,
this
is for kids?
You know what they do? They do that under the pretext that the fist is some kind of a black power like thing or some kind of a black... Because in the video, it's the brown and the black represent the black community, and they're trying to tie this fist. But if people really know what this fist means, This is a communist fist.
Yes.
This comes from communism.
If it's called like what, the red fist or something
Yes,
like that.
it's like, because like when you put all the digits together, the people, the working class, right? You put all the digits together and you make a powerful fist, and you can strike back against the establishment. You can strike back against the powers that be. That's where this comes from. It's not a Black Power movement thing. The Black Power movement stole it from the communists. So
I think
it
it's
is like,
because it's, you know.
huh? No, the
I
Black
don't
Power
wanna
movement,
digress.
they're communist.
No,
They
that's
are,
what I'm going to say.
okay.
I was going to say is like it's at this point like BLM. Marxism,
They appropriated it. They
yes.
They culturally appropriated the communist fist, and they stole it, and they made it theirs. And now everybody thinks that this is a Black Power thing. No, it's a communist thing. And the Black Power movement and the BLM movement stole it. Black supremacists stole it and made it theirs as if they created it.
Yeah.
But they're communists too, which they're really just paying homage to their communist and Marxist roots. You know, so it's an agenda. Communism is coming in all shades.
Yep.
It's coming in from the LGBT community. It's coming into you from the Black community, the woke Black community, Black supremacist community. It's coming in from, I can't say Latinos, like a lot of Latinos that are here that come from different countries. They don't like communism. But the ones that are born here, right, the ones that are born here, a lot of them embrace communism because they've never been through it.
Yeah.
Communism and socialism, they never been through it. So they're, oh, yeah, that's cool. And communism and socialism is the wave right now. So everybody's hopping on the wave and riding the wave. And they think it's cool, but they've never experienced it.
No. And you think that under this, you're going to be free? Like, you're going to live in some utopia? Anyway, but that's not here or there for this conversation. But in the context of this video, people are like, "Oh, you're overreacting. It's just equality for transgender, bringing
so many
attention to
messages
transgender people of color." And it's like, no, this is conditioning. It's the frog in the water analogy, like warming up people to these ideas, and it's like, nope, full stop. Like, I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to support that symbolism,
Yeah, it's 100%. All the messages in that video, that when I saw that communist fist, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we just talk about how ugly that flag is too? It's like, what
all
is
of those
this?
flags
This
are
is
ugly,
trash.
man. I don't.
Can't we just leave it the rainbow flag? Doesn't a rainbow encompass all colors, like all everything? Why do we have to make it so tacky?
Well, honestly, LGBT hijacked the rainbow too.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
They hijacked it from the Bible and Christians.
Yep.
Yeah, they stole it and they made it theirs. It's disgusting. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they took down my video. It is what it is. My video was mainly about the feminists.
Yeah.
And I was really pissed off at the feminists.
Yeah.
They really made me mad because all of this time they've just cowered. You're ready to get up and fight for everything else, but when it comes to this, when it comes to LGBT, for some reason you cower, you hide behind your freaking mom's skirt, you hide behind the bed, you hide in the closet, you don't speak out against it. You got the President of the United States, the the leader of this country, calling you birthing women.
Oof.
Birthing women.
Yeah.
Or birthing people, sorry. Not even women. You're not a woman anymore.
Woman. You're not a woman.
You're a birthing person.
Birthing person.
Or birthing people.
How dare you?
Yeah.
And feminists, fellow true feminists, not sexist, cowardice, whatever. real feminists start speaking up, because this is absolute and utter bullcrap. I am not a birthing person. I am not, my identity as a woman is not able to be reduced to something that simple, to where it's like, oh no, you're just a birthing person. No, I am a woman, and I'm sorry, not sorry though, if you're that offended, if you're a birthing person, if you're transgender and you're giving birth to a child and you're that triggered by being called a woman or a female, even on a science-based, anatomy level, you probably need some therapy. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's
you maybe reconsider having children for a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it makes me mad too, because it's like, going back to this video, right? And drag queen, it's like there's this over exaggeration of what feminism, or I'm sorry, what femininity is, and right, like the huge breast, the gaudiness,
Yeah.
and it's like, if an actual woman does that, they're
Yeah.
like shunned, and they're crapped on for
Yeah.
it. There's no support for them there,
Yeah.
unless you're like a bad bitch, and then it's
Yeah.
like you're then it's okay. But if you're just embrace your femininity, especially as a conservative woman, it's like you're part of the oppression, and you're buying into the misogyny, and be free, be you, be bold. Like, you don't have to wear makeup.
Yeah.
Don't shave your armpits. That's crap. But at the same time, then you have women like Gina Carano, who is badass, who is like embraces all things feminine, is a strong, independent, free-thinking woman. And what happens when she speaks her mind?
Oh, she gets shut
Feminists
down.
and the left lose their mind, and it's like, that should be a role model for children. Like, why are you poo-pooing on her?
Yeah.
Why are you trying to cancel her? I don't understand it, and I was telling you earlier, I've always identified as a feminist,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe in equality for all, including men. Can we talk about that for a second? Like,
Yeah.
I just got attacked on one of Jordan Peterson's posts for talking about masculinity, and like how masculinity isn't inherently toxic, right? Like,
Yeah.
the absence of true masculinity, that's a toxic factor, because people abuse it, blah blah blah. The point, the post isn't really relevant, what I was saying, but it was like the fact that I was defending men, like truly masculine men, and masculinity.
Yeah.
All these feminists, I can't remember her name, and it's like that feminist next door, like, started texting me like, what the bleep are you talking about? And it's like, you're not a true feminist. You're a sexist crap hole. Like, I don't want to get flagged for hate speech here, but that's not a feminist. I am a true feminist, and I'm tired. I am tired of being under constant attack, and I am tired of these sexist women, transgender people, who are parading around as feminists, but are really just destroying everything that my ancestors fought for. Feminists for centuries, centuries really, if not longer, have been fighting for. They may not have been labeled as feminists, right? But they fought for those things as women, and to see it, women being erased, is
it's heartbreaking.
it is, and it's outrageous.
It's gone mainstream, and it's man, it's just one of those things where, like, what are you gonna do, man? It's already too late. It's almost too late, but like, we can fight back. We will fight back. I'm not gonna stop fighting. I'm just not going to be doing it on no YouTube platform for very long. But I'm going to keep putting out content. I'm going to keep putting out, the message that I want to put out and how I see appropriate. So, I mean, that was very powerful what you just said. Like, I agree with all of that. They're hijacking the movement,
Yeah.
and they are distorting it. You know, and the point that you were making about masculinity, we need both. We need femininity, femininity,
Yes.
and we need masculinity. I don't know why I can't think right now. Masculinity. We need those two.
Yes.
It's like a yin and a yang. You know, we gotta have those two.
Why can't we accept that they're perfect complements to each
Yes,
other?
they are the purpose, and that's alluding to the fact. This is the natural order of things. We need masculinity. We need femininity. We need both of them.
Yeah.
So why should either of them be shunned?
Right.
Why should one be mocked and why should one be beaten down?
Right.
It should be all together in the culture.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it really makes me mad when our institutions and our, leaders are trying their hardest to erase that from the culture.
Yeah.
They are trying to change the way that we do things, the way that things have worked for centuries and centuries. And I don't appreciate it at all.
I don't appreciate it either. And that's not to say, like some women can't have more masculine traits or, there is some balance there. It's
Look,
not
nobody's shunning any woman. Nobody's telling every woman to be in a dress and play with Barbie dolls and like be in the kitchen and cook and, no.
But here's the thing is that doing those things doesn't make you any less of a badass.
Yeah.
You can be a strong woman that's happy to serve her husband, cook him meals, be a family unit. Because you know what? He also serves her.
Yeah.
He's a provider.
Yeah.
And there's a perfect balance there.
Yeah. But you're going back to the Flintstone days when you do that. You're going back. You're not progressing. That is like, you want the Leave It to Beaver, life. And people.
I got called a Stepford wife the other day. Oh, it's comical.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's like, oh gosh. All right.
A Stepford wife. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was wild. So I can't.
What made you a Stepford wife? I want to say, what comment made you say that you were a Stepford wife?
Oh gosh, there were so many. I can't remember specifically which one it was, but it was essentially like, it was on that same thread. It was like, I had a lot of people attacking me, and it was like, oh, here comes the Stepford wife, mentality. Because I had commented back on one person, and it was just like, because I had a thought outside of,
and they swear.
And here's the thing, anyway, go ahead.
They swear up and down. It's like, oh, if women want to do that, we're not saying that women can't do that. Be a housewife, or we're not saying that women can do that. They always try to say we're not saying. Nobody has ever shunned. Like back in the day, that it used to be shunned, but now that is the wave. Like, don't even try to say that being a strong woman, being a career woman is not encouraged. That stuff is encouraged to the max.
That is.
To the max. What's being looked down upon is a woman that prefers to be a housewife, that wants to raise a family and raise kids and be a traditional, have a traditional family unit. Yeah. And that's what's being shunned. That's what's being suppressed. That's what's being rooted out of the culture.
Yep.
So this is crazy. This is crazy. It's oh man.
It's crazy. We're destroying the choice for women to be like, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Circumstance made it to where like I had to be, career driven and
yeah.
But I think also a lot of it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Oh no,
Go ahead.
I felt like, oh, I have to be this, even though I was raised in a very, like it's cool, like be a stay-at-home mom if you want, you know. Like, society made me feel like, no, you have to.
Yes, there was an effort.
Yes.
Like, didn't Jordan Peterson say something like, and this is like on another, like veering off to another topic, like, it might not be related. Maybe it's not related.
Say it anyway.
But I mean, I'll say it anyway. I guess like, no, it's actually not related. This was like, this has more to do with like how he was talking about how like the Swedish were pushing women to do more like STEM career fields, and they did everything as a society to push that, but the women still were just like, no, we want to do what we're comfortable with. We want to do what, you know, what we, not to say that women can't do it. It's just that they feel better working with people. Yeah. And that ties into working with family, raising a family. And men were more inclined to work with things. Right. And that is just natural, you know.
Right. People want to talk about like, oh, there's no science behind it. And it's like, that's baloney. It's like natural instinct.
Definitely science. That's definitely chemistry. Like, everybody wants to say like, oh, transgenderism is being a transgender. It's they want to tie science to it. Well, how come we can't tie science to everything else?
Boom. Right. That's.
It's like, what? Why do they have such a big problem tying science to how men think and how women think? But you're so quick to tie science to how
it's society pressuring these
come
young
on,
boys and blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's nature. It's instinctual. It's ingrained in our DNA. Why is it so hard to comprehend? That's a perfect example. Yeah. That's a perfect example. Yeah. It's like, you want to have the debate that, you know, transgender people are, you know, it's just, it's who they are. And it's, or even, you know, because I feel like transgender, a lot of it is choice, at least in this day and age. Yeah. But if you want to talk about like gay people, lesbian people, like that is, I think, you know, it's neurologically just a part of you. Same with masculinity, femininity, wanting to be a caregiver, wanting to be a provider.
Why can't that be neurologically attached to, you know, a man or a woman? But when it comes to transgender, oh yeah, it's neurologically attached. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's science. Oh yeah, it's this, it's that. Oh yeah, there's been studies that shown this and there's been studies that shown that. Really? Come on. And a lot of these studies are biased because all these studies, like Jordan Peterson said, he's the only person, right-wing psychologist, or person who studies this type of stuff. And most of them have come to the conclusion, right, that it is naturally the way that women, their mentality is a natural, you know, scientific thing. The way that they move, the way that they gear or gravitate towards things like people, things like interacting with, caring for people, nurturing, you know, and the way that men are more geared towards things, fixing things, or trying to innovate with things. Right. You know, women want to innovate with people.
Which is why you see more women in the nursing field.
Right.
Like,
and I don't believe for one. Yes, I don't believe. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't believe for 1 second that women don't have the capacity to do all of these other things. Right. What I think that is holding them back is their natural. It's about wanting to do it. It's about just actually feeling right, feeling like wanting to do it, having a natural want to help people. Right. You know what I mean? And make the lives of people better. Yeah. That's what they do. They're caring. Women are such amazing people. This country, this actually civilization period would crumble without, you know, women. And we need that. We can't have everybody being engineers. We can't have everybody being, you know, caring about just things. The whole society would crack and crumble.
We need
and vice versa.
We need
Yes.
caregivers.
Yes, it's like and vice versa. You know, if all the men just started being male nurses, you know, yeah, if women just all of a sudden just wanted to be doctors, okay, they could fill the void, but like that's just not how we're wired.
Right.
And if it just doesn't, there's got to be the balance, man. The balance, the yin and the yang. That's a real thing. That is a real thing.
It is. And you see, yeah. The other question I have is like, why? Anyway, no, I'm not even going to go there.
No, go ahead.
It's just, you know,
Who cares, man? YouTube is like,
I
don't care anymore, man.
But no, it's not even that like offensive or whatever. But it's like going back to this Nickelodeon video and like, you know, why is it okay for, you know, gay men? There's others too, but just as an example, why are gay men celebrated for being so feminine and, you know, embracing their true self?
I want to know. And another thing, why don't they have more gay women? Like they might have them, like, but gay women, like besides Ellen DeGeneres, like why don't they have over the top gay women?
Are you Ellen DeGeneres?
Ellen DeGeneres?
Yeah.
Are you lesbian?
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 Rosie O'Donnell?
Are you Rosie O'Donnell?
Perhaps
inside joke. But yeah, they don't have any like, you know, over the top. Ellen DeGeneres is not over the top.
No.
Rosie O'Donnell, not over the top. A lot of, you know, they're normal gay women.
Yeah.
You know, Queen Latifah, not over the top. She's a normal, you know, respectable gay woman.
Yeah.
But the men, and they don't push them towards the kids. They always have some kind of like flamboyant, over the top, just crazy representative of the LGBT geared towards kids.
Yeah.
They can never have a character that is just like a person that just is a character but just happens to be gay. It's always some like stereotypical. It's crazy, man. I'm just done with it. Pisses me off.
I agree.
All this drag show crap that they're shoving down kids' throats and all of this, man.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And we were talking about that other guy that I don't know what he is. Is he a transgender or is he a drag?
Who?
The guy that was talking about, oh, your little girls are not these little princesses that you think they are. I
don't know, and I don't care. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what sexual
orientation
you are.
That's
you say
true.
something like that, you should be under observation because you're, you know, yes, in some, you know, like there should be. Kids are curious at a certain age about like their bodies, and you know, it's like, you should be having conversation as a parent about those things.
The fact that sorry to cut you off, but the fact that he said your little girls are kinky.
Yes, that is the issue. That is like makes me want to vomit, and I'm not gonna say it because it'll give YouTube.
Yeah, I know what I want to say.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm thinking right now.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yep.
And I'm just like, why do we give a why do we give a platform to these people?
Yeah.
Why are we coming out and having finding it acceptable to say, oh, child, not all porn is damaging to children, and it's like, ew, no. Porn, like, to be honest, is damaging to adults. Like,
I know. The guy just shot up a dang massage therapist place.
Yeah. And you think children have the capacity to comprehend what is happening, and you want to talk about like sex positive nature. Well, the porn in general isn't. It's a fake ideal.
I don't want to, you know, give an excuse to a lot of these serial killers. But without exception, most of these serial killers, famous serial killers, say that porn was one of the main reasons why they became what they became. Their personal life, their relationships with their parents, and porn, and their relationships with women. Porn was at the forefront of a lot of these serial killers. And I'm not going to absolve them of why they did it, but you cannot deny the fact that porn was a big factor. All of them have said it. You know me, I love watching documentaries on serial killers.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that. I was like, what?
No, I love watching documentaries on these, and I hear the interviews.
Yeah.
I hear the psychiatrists and the doctors, and they all, without exception, agree, and they understand. And the serial killers themselves say it. So here's a serial killer. He's already in jail. Like, he doesn't have anything. He's going to tell you exactly what drove him to do it. So it's, to say that porn is not a damaging, factor to a kid, or a damaging, thing to a kid. Yeah. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah. It's
you're gonna
it's detrimental.
Yeah,
to
you're
children.
gonna create a bunch of new Ted Bundys.
Yeah. On top of that, you want to go back to the feminist issue. Like, you want to celebrate all these sex workers, and again, between consenting adults, whatever. Mm-hmm. But porn industry specifically, it's like it's creating this idealized fantasy world where people are disconnecting from their partners. Like, mm-hmm. It's and it's destroying marriages. It's destroying relationships.
I know about this secondhand. There's a person I know who I used to work with. His significant other was he couldn't perform because he was, and we used to have these conversations all the time, and he couldn't perform because of his addiction to porn and this crazy image that he had that his wife couldn't live up to,
right? And
he couldn't get, and his relationship fell apart.
And that's That's common, and it's not that foreign of a or isolated of an incident, I should say. It's that's happened to a few people I know.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, so feminists get mad about porn, like
Yeah.
But specifically coming back to the children part of it, it's like, why do we think this is okay? Why are we okay with this California law about, I can't remember, there could be like a 10-year age gap, starting from like 14. Yeah. So you're telling me a 14-year-old can be in a relationship with a 24-year-old?
Yeah.
I think those are the numbers. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah,
because it could be
they made
incorrect.
it to where, now, where does the word sodomy come from? Sodom, right?
It's Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right. So sodomy, that has to do with, it has to do with, things. I don't want to say because I don't want to get the YouTube, So, I guess some of the law, I'm just going to play the other side. Mm-hmm. I guess the reason why they came up with these, little laws, as stupid as it sounds, is because it was not targeting, but it was a bunch of gay people were disproportionately put into the I guess you can say the sex offender registry, where their names will be, tied to that. And in order to combat that, oh my God, they made it to where, okay, so since we have so many gay people, we got to do something. And you know how stupid these politicians are, right? And these lawmakers are, right? Especially the ones on the left. In order to get rid of or to lower the number of gay sex offenders, they said, okay, if there is a 10-year age difference between the person that you're with, and that 10-year difference stems from it could be from 14 to 24, and that's the cutoff. Like, you can be 14 years old and mess with a 24-year-old, and the 24-year-old will not have to register as a sex offender.
No. No. I don't care the logic behind. I could see maybe 2 years between like an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. I could see that potentially.
Yeah.
14 to 24, no way.
Yeah, no way.
No
way. No way.
No. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah. But that's how California, did they already pass it, or is that something that's just on the books?
I can't remember. I haven't looked at that in a long time.
No.
I feel like they did pass it, but again, don't quote me on that because I'm
I
not
think they
certain.
did. Yeah, I think they did pass it.
Yeah.
So now if you're gay, and you mess with a person that's 14, you can still get in trouble. You'll still get in trouble, but you won't have to register as a sex offender.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
That's awful.
It's they're trying, like, why are you protecting these people? Look.
Why are we protecting criminals across the board in general?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't. And I am a proponent of, people can change. Criminal justice needs reform. All those things. I can get along with that. But at the end of the day, I am not going to stand here and celebrate and encourage criminal activity, especially when it comes to children. No, I will draw the line. No way.
Well, speaking of that, I made another video on this is a completely different topic, but there was a video about a young boy that is actually gaining some traction. I've heard even Bill de Blasio say something about it. But Bill de Blasio is such a disaster that him saying anything about any kind of crime that guy is a disaster. I don't take anything that guy says serious. He's a big lurch. He needs to get the hell out of Dodge. He's a piece of crap. He turned that city into a gutter. Just garbage. He's such a bad person. Yeah. He's horrible. He's one of the top 3 worst mayors in the country. Easily.
I think Ted Wheeler takes the ultimate cake on that one, but...
Oh, Ted Wheeler. Oh, yeah. He's terrible. I got him. I have Lightfoot.
Yeah.
And I have Wheeler. And then I also have that dumb idiot in Seattle. Forget her name.
Oh,
I've done a video on her.
Yeah.
The Summer of Love woman.
Yeah. Why is her name escaping me right now?
Yeah, I can't forget her.
I don't know.
But she's an honorable mention.
Yeah.
She's outside that top 3, but she's an honorable mention. She's very close. Yeah.
Anyway.
But
what were you saying about
de
Blasio?
So de Blasio said something. He said something about the incident that happened where there was this guy. Now my video was like I made the video and I didn't know the context of the situation, but in that video, I talk about how this kid, a 10-year-old, black boy, who was the nickname to this kid was the Calculator. They called him Calculator because he was such a math whiz. He was so good in math. He was so proficient in math that he would tutor all of the other kids, which was very, very. I thought that was great because black kids, they're having a lot of trouble right now when it comes to math and reading.
Yeah.
They're at the bottom. They're not keeping up with their peers from other races. They're at the complete bottom. And to see this kid that was an exception, breaking the mold, get killed in his home for something he had nothing to do with, right? It was because of a parking dispute. They were in this, I think it was like a duplex or like an apartment or a building, something like that. And it was a parking dispute. And the guy, the neighbor, got pissed off, went to the house, and just started spraying up the house with bullets. Killed the 10-year-old kid, and hit the uncle in his shoulder.
Over a parking
dispute, a parking space. Something that they were arguing about for a long time. Seeing that kid's father was so heartbreaking. I was so sad seeing that kid's dad talking about it. And you, like I said, you won't hear anything from BLM. You're not going to hear anything from any of these athletes. No. You're not going to hear anything from these celebrities. You won't hear anything from fucking, excuse my language. This topic makes me upset. You won't hear anything from Alyssa Milano.
No.
You won't hear anything from any of these woke liberal celebrities. They're not going to say anything. And the only reason why is because the suspect or the perpetrator had too much melanin in his skin. That is it. That's the only reason that's keeping them from saying anything. If that, God forbid, that guy lacked some melanin, because it would have been all over the news. Right. If this had been a white person, oh my Lord, there would have been pitchforks out for this guy.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
People have been so upset, like, why wasn't this white man killed by police when he was taking
and then they would have tied it to guns and gun violence and all kinds of stuff, and then white supremacy, even though this incident didn't have anything to do with race or anything like that. Let's say that this guy just had white skin, they would try to tie that back to some white supremacy or something. He shot up in this black person's home. Like, we have a major issue with white supremacy. That's the biggest issue in this country, is white supremacy. The intelligence community says that white supremacy is the biggest issue, while babies are being killed by thug, gangster, savages.
How many babies have died this month alone?
Yeah,
or been
babies
shot?
Dying every day, man. Like, black kids are. I feel bad for them. I said this in my video, and I'm not ashamed of saying it. I will never live amongst a high concentration of black people. I will not do it. I will not do it. I refuse to do it. I won't even go to a club where there's a high concentration of black people. I won't go to a family reunion or any kind of big high concentration of black people. Parties. No, you will not catch me there, because black people don't know how to act. And I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's very, a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody who is a thug. There's too many that are in the community that are destroying the community. Babies are dying. I don't care about your feelings right now. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about you in particular.
No, I know.
But I don't care about your feelings about me saying this. Babies are dying. Yep. You can kiss my butt with all of that. Oh, well, you shouldn't paint with a broad brush. No, shut up. Kids are dying.
Where is it happening?
Yes, where is it happening? Where black babies are dying every day. Getting shot in their damn cribs.
Yep.
I don't care. I don't care.
They're jumping on trampolines, when they're going to get food. My kids heard this story about the little girl getting shot, like, in McDonald's, and you know what, call it white privilege, whatever, I don't know, but to see the look on their face, like a little girl was killed in a McDonald's drive-thru, it's like, Yeah, no, this isn't normal. Why are we ignoring it? It's not a normal thing. Like, it's
because our leaders can't make money off of gang members doing what they do. They can't make money. They can't grift. They can't make money, which is they just follow the money. That's all you got to do. Just follow the money. And if there was a lucrative, prize to, covering this stuff, they would be there.
Yeah.
They would be there, but it's not lucrative. And
it doesn't gain them any political points.
It doesn't gain them any political points with the Democrat Party. They're, nobody's going to say anything like about this. I mean, you got guys like, what's his name? Van Jones. You know Van Jones?
Yeah.
You got guys like Baraka Sellers on MSNBC. Those two guys are upstanding, supposedly intellectual, smart black men, right? Those two have more in common with this kid than they do George Floyd.
Right.
But they are harping and crying over George Floyd, but they won't say anything about this kid. Why? Because what? He was killed by another black person? So this kid life doesn't matter?
No.
But you're carrying on and crying crocodile tears over fucking George Floyd? Excuse my language. Sorry, Mrs. Goodman. I apologize. But I'm mad. This makes me upset.
No, I know. And especially talking about Van Jones in particular, who's been such an advocate for prison reform and like has been heavily involved in that. And it's like, why are you ignoring the root of the issue? Like, why are you blaming white officers? You know that that's not the issue. You know that's not why. White officers aren't the reason why so many black men are in jail, why there's so much community violence. So stop perpetuating this false narrative. It
has nothing to do with any of that, any white supremacy or any other crap. Black people just don't know how to act. And I'm just going to call it out for what it is. It's simple. Black people just don't know how to act. It's simple. Point blank period. I'm tired of people trying to say, oh, well, it's because their environment. It's like, no, screw that. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. These people have working brains. They know right from, you shooting babies. Like, unless you're some psychotic idiot or some psychotic moron.
Unless you've watched a lot of porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a time to joke, but yeah.
Unless you need to be in a mental home. Excuse me, and these people are put on trial and they're deemed, fit to stand trial.
Right.
Right? So these people that are killing these babies, they're not crazy. No. They're just evil. They're just evil. Point blank period. That man, when he was walking out the building he was cuffed, they were asking him, how does it make you feel to know that you killed a 10-year-old boy? He didn't have any expression on his face. He was just like, whatever. He was evil. You could see the evil in his face.
Well, before it even gets to evil, I think it's weakness, right?
Yeah, weakness.
We're not instilling strength.
Well, weakness, number one, because we got away from, a lot of times there's no, we can go back to the masculinity and the femininity. These men that are committing these crimes, and I'm not associating this with femininity or anything like that, but anytime you take a man, an effeminate man that doesn't know how to control his emotions, you mix that with male aggression, and that leads to disaster. An effeminate man that does not know how to control his emotions, that doesn't have any, what do they call it, problem solving or conflict resolution, like any kind of skills to handle that. There's none in the black community, especially in the ghetto. Maybe the affluent black community, there is a lot of it, but in the hood, in the ghetto, there is none. No conflict resolution skills whatsoever. Couple that with the effeminate emotions, no male figure to show them how to be men. What's their first reaction? To go and shoot up and spray up any a home. They don't even care about the target that they're after. They just go. If they know the person is in the area, this is their logic. If they know the person is in the area, oh, let me just spray the place and maybe I'll hit them. They don't even try to aim and hit the person. They just spray up a crowd or they'll spray up a house. This is the mentality. And this is why you see so many babies dying. I was going to say something, but I don't want to mess up this One Patriot channel. I said it in my other video. They didn't take that video down. But honestly, when you're killing babies, I'm gonna just say it. You need to be put to death. No. You need to be put to death. No exceptions. I don't care if it was an accident or not. I don't care. I don't care if that was the intended target or not. I don't care.
Through the judicial system, YouTube, we're saying
yes.
Capital punishment.
Yes, they need to be put to death. If that is not on the books, it needs to be put on the books as a law. Yo, if you go into any situation, and whether it be in a crowd or whether it be in a house, you are responsible for those bullets. Every bullet that hits somebody, I don't care if you intended it or not, you are responsible for that to the highest order of the law, and you will be put to death. Especially if you're killing a minor or a kid. If I was a dictator, oh my gosh, these people that are killing children or having, these pedos, they wouldn't stand a chance. I would rid all of them. And I'm sorry, we might get a strike, but they would be done. They wouldn't stand a chance with me. I would stand by you. Yeah, they would not stand a chance with me. They wouldn't have a chance to be in society. We'll just put it that way.
And I am in agreement. I think we must protect our children at all costs.
It's disgusting, man.
We're far too comfortable with kids being murdered, with kids being spoon-fed. I don't even know, spoon-fed, like force-fed. It really, communist propaganda and grooming material.
I don't understand it. Like I said, I mean, as you stated eloquently, they're being force-fed communist propaganda. Our children are under attack through the school system. Our children are under attack in their own homes. They can't even sleep at night. They can't even, just imagine, just being in your own home. You're not even safe in your own home. And some idiot comes up and shoots up your house. That guy needs to be put to death. I wonder if they're gonna let this guy get out on bail, because I don't know how I don't think it's with violent crimes, or if it's a high felony or something like that, they're probably gonna keep him. But Debauchery came out and said, "Oh, this is an act of cowardice." No, you're a freaking coward. You're a coward. You are one of the real reasons why this type of stuff happens.
Yeah.
Coward.
You're allowing.
How dare him call anybody a coward when he's the coward?
I mean, I see your point. This guy that shot.
Yeah, Debauchery is 100% right, but I don't want to hear it from him.
Right.
I don't want to hear it from him.
Until he holds himself accountable.
Until
these leaders hold themselves accountable for the actions that are happening in their city, that they have no control over these cities. There were 55 shootings in under Lori Lightfoot's leadership in Chicago, over one weekend, 5 deaths, and you're not holding yourself accountable as a leader, and you're trying to defund police.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
No.
These are the main. That's what I was alluding to. Bill De Blasio is defunding the police, getting rid of the homicide unit.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah,
that's outrageous.
Got rid of that. Got rid of the and in Chicago, Lightfoot is taking all of the detectives off of the criminal investigations, and she's forcing them to be put out on patrol, or forcing them to be put out on the street to help stop these robberies. It's like, man, these defunded police, man, they are insane. You got rid of a whole. They got rid of the plain cops unit, the plainclothes cops unit, that was deterring a lot of criminals from doing things.
Yeah,
it worked. It worked.
Take it down to a basic level. When you're driving on the freeway, right, and you see, traditionally there were just, just sheriffs. They were very plainly. In a regular, it was like very obvious this is a cop car, and now you have sleeper police officer and sleeper cars. I drive a lot more carefully. It's the same concept with these plainclothes officers. It's like it makes sense. Like
it worked. It actually worked, and the people in the community. You got these morons like AOC endorsing this garbage mayor that is a main advocate of defunding the police. One of the main advocates of defunding the police. And this particular mayor has private security for herself, but she wants to defund the police from the people. When the people in New York City wrote a letter to Bill De Blasio being saying that they were upset that he got rid of the special homicide unit and the plainclothes police unit, all because of something that happened to some low-life thug in freaking Minnesota. It didn't even have anything to do with New York. That's why they got rid. And the person that did that to freaking this George Floyd thug, lowlife, was in police uniform.
Right.
So what is the purpose of changing your police structure? What is the purpose? To grandstand.
That's exactly it.
To freaking virtue signal. These people are, man.
I think we need to hold these leaders accountable. Honestly, like if your city, there has to be a way to hold them accountable.
I'm gonna hold the voters accountable. Like the leaders are gonna get in and do what they want, but like these voters, you know what? Like
I'm talking about like legally speaking.
Oh,
like,
okay. Oh yeah, like suing them and stuff, and they are being sued. Like they're the chick the chick that had a daughter, the woman that had the daughter, was in her car. BLM shot it up and killed her daughter. The woman is suing the city, which is good. I hope she sues that city for every cent they have, because the mayor was with that.
About Bottoms?
Yeah, Bottoms. Yeah. She was going along with that BLM crap.
Yep.
She was marching with them. She was doing the whole BLM crap. People in Portland are suing the mayor. People in Seattle are suing the mayor.
Good. They should.
So I'm happy to hear that. But that's what needs to happen. You're right. They need to be held accountable. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, man, these voters, when they see their city go to crap, they they have nobody to blame but themselves.
That's true. Yeah, quit voting these people in.
Yeah.
And if they're messing up and they're destroying your city, do not wait until the next election. Don't wait.
Don't wait. Yeah.
Recall them. Get them out.
Yeah. Organize, get signatures, and,
Yep.
and recall them.
Yep.
Agreed. Yeah.
Well, I think that about wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Yes.
Uh,
Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag us. But if they do, c'est la vie. We'll post a link to the same video on BitChute or something.
Yeah.
But like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate your support. We're glad you stuck with us through this controversial podcast. It should not be controversial. But
Yeah.
I digress.
All right. Well,
All
you
right.
guys have a good day. God bless you. God bless this country.
Amen.
Amen.
All
This
right.
is Burning Spirit Patriot signing off.
I am Libby Lioux Patriot signing off.